start by giving our viewers a short introduction about yourself?
Sure. My name is Børge Brunes, and I think most of you know me as Lord Helmet of Spaceballs, or PMC. I was very active in Amiga scene from 89 to about 95. I'm most known as the founder and main editor of R.A.W magazine, which I guess if you're active in that period from 89 to 95, I think you know it. Otherwise, you maybe know it better after this session. So that's a short introduction, Ola.
Yeah. If someone only knows you as Lord Helmet, who is Børge outside of the demo scene?
Well, I think most know me as both Lord Helmet, but outside I'm working as a CDO in Compendia, so I'm working with computers, AI, and digital transformation. So I've also been active in local politics, so living in Norway with wife and 3 kids. So that's outside Lord Helmet.
Yeah. Do you remember when you first got into computers?
Well, not really. It was a coincidence. I really didn't want a computer, but my parents bought a computer for me at Christmas because I was buying a computer to a relative of me. So maybe Børge also want a computer. So I got it without even wanting it. So I was very into sport and soccer, and suddenly I got this 64, and wow, it changed my job, it changed my life. So that was a coincidence.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what your first computer was, but you kind of said it there. So instead, what was the computer culture like in Norway when you were growing up?
Well, you met some friends on the street and you went with disk, and then you exchanged disk, and you copied games, and you visited friends and you played together. Later on, some people started to getting to know the computer and breaking the limits and do some coding. So I started the scene as a swapper in the start, just to exchange disks. So yes, so it was before internet. So we just exchanging disks, exchanging games. Was the culture really? Just play games.
Yeah. Did your parents understand what you were spending all those hours doing?
No, I spent a lot of hours, of course, with computers, especially when I was a main editor of R.A.W magazine. It was I spent many hours each day, and I got it was mail at that time, so mail in the call it. So you got like letters, and I think each day in the active period I maybe got 25 letters each day in my mail. So it was just a job to open the mails and see disk and just answering letters. So a lot of organization. So I spent a lot of hours, but I think my parents know a bit, but they didn't know a lot. I have never shown them a whole raw.
Do you remember when you realized there was an underground community making demos?
Not the exact moment. Of course, you played games, you saw the groups, you saw the crackings, you saw some groups, but the first time I got really stunned by a demo was the Red Sector Mega Demo from 89. Wow, that stunned me really, and it was great loader music with some Room of Night. So that was the moment I realized the demos is very good. So the first really good demo I saw was the Red Sector Mega Demo in 89.
Okay. Do you remember the first release you were involved in? What was going through your mind when you finally saw your name on a production?
Well, I think I had to see what is my first production. So it's 2 things. I made some scroll text for my first group Cartel, but that was maybe 10 minutes into a demo, so I don't think anyone has seen it. Yeah. But of course, the demo has of course ripped all the scroll text. So that text is available on the internet. For if you search my name, you can get the scroll text today. Yeah. So that's a coincidence. But I also made some, I was a swapper, I made some packs, like I collected demos and made some packs in 89. So that was the first productions. I made some packs and also some scroll text. That was the start. But it was not so. But I gave all the disc to a friend of yours, so he has made all the disc on the demo. So all my early packs that nobody has is free on the internet today because some guy have collected it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun or just weird stories from your time in the scene?
Well, of course, I have visited a lot of parties. If you're a manager of R.A.W, you have to visit parties to get stories. So I have been to parties from '89 when I was in Trondheim. 19 to 95, so I've been to a lot of parties in both Denmark and Norway. But the most strange thing is maybe the party that happened on 7th April 1990, the same day as Scandinavian Star accent was. There was a party in Drammen, and that was maybe the only party. This was busted by police. We was in the party, and the police come and had to collect all of this with. They thought it was a lot of games. So really, the party ended, and police some got arrested, and it was really a crazy story. So that's a very weird story, and also have been to in the party in Denmark. I think that's both parts. I've been there when both Spaceports have released the state of the art. I was seeing Nexus 7 with the fucking scholar to myself. I saw it live for the first time. So I saw it live on the party too. So that's maybe a weird moment. So a lot of good stories from parties, yes.
Yeah. Well, talking about stories, Andromeda, they had a message to you. Can you explain how that came about?
That greeting was maybe one of the moments people still remember that later, and I saw it live, and Andromeda had to look at me. What this short helmet is he seeing with Scholar? So that's a fun story for me, really. The background was R.A.W. I wrote an article from R.A.W. and one article was about the organization of Andromeda. That was very strict organization I heard stories about. So I did a bit harsh story. I called the organizer of Andromeda for Stalin. So I called this is the Stalin of the scene. So I didn't like that, and but it was a bit playful rivalry. So Andromeda made graphic for R.A.W. They made the intro from R.A.W. So I consider Andromeda as friends, even if it doesn't look like that reading the scroll. But no hard feelings. But so it's a very good demo, Next 7. So I think maybe when people don't read diskmag, so maybe people remember me from Rat Scholar today.
How do you feel about the demo scene as it exists today compared to back when you were active?
Well, to be honest, I don't know the demo scene today very much. I visit your parties, Ola, sometimes and see some of it, but I don't consider myself as a member of today's demo scene. I just see it, and so I think today maybe when we was young, like we was in the 90s, it was our life. I think today maybe it's more like a hobby for most demo scene. We do something we do on spare time. So I think the difference is that when you was 18 years old, it was your life. Everything depended on the scene. Today, it's just a side project. So that maybe that's the difference. People are more, I guess, more relaxed today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What did being part of the demo scene give you personally? What did you take away from it?
Personally, it gave me friendships. And also I got to know so many talented coders. I met all of the talented coders, both in Andromeda, Spaceballs, Sanity. I met the best musicians like Jesper Kyd, and also graphicians. So it was a lot of talented people. So and we were working for free. We were working together. It was team effort. Everything was doing our best, and there were some amazing productions. So meeting and just seeing and talking and seeing talented people, I think that was very fun. In my work, I have never seen such a passion with young people, young attitude. You don't get that in a normal work. Everything is money and conversation today, and it was just for fun. It was just for making something good. So I miss that, and everything gave me a lot of friendship and working with talented people.
Yeah. Looking back, what made the Norwegian scene unique compared to the rest of the world, if anything?
I think Norway, we had a lot of impressive number of talent groups. I think more than other peoples, especially Scandinavia. But I don't know if they were different to other. I don't know other scenes, so I don't know if any difference from other. I think we were more Norwegians were into Demoscene than other. I think maybe in England they gained more. So I think the Demoscene was bigger in Norway compared to Central Europe. I think Norway, Sweden, and Denmark had a very big Demoscene compared to Amiga. I think Germany and England and Spain and Italy had a lot of Amigas, but the Demoscene was not so important. So it was very important in Scandinavia.
Yeah. Which demo party stands out to you the most?
I have to repeat myself, but the party in '92 in Denmark is special in two ways. Because at that time, R.A.W was at the height. We were number one by miles. So it was really nice feeling talking. You were talking with people, not that people know you, a lot of people. So you were really nice to be that. And also we released the state-of-the-art demo from Spaceballs that really changed the whole scene because it was another way to make demos, not with impressing technical details, but really making a music show. So I think that changed in '92 with that. So I was at the place where it happened. So yeah, so point two, and also a lot of people attended it. Nearly all the important people was at the party in '92 from France, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. So it was a place to be, the party. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. You were lucky to have been there.
Yeah, you met a lot. You met Orlando Romero. I met Moby, the French musician. He was very fun. We made Face It, the graphic from Netherlands. So we had a lot of different people from different places. So it was really fun. I should experience. I could go back in time and have it again.
Yeah. What do you think people outside the demo scene still do not understand about it?
Yeah, outside, I think maybe they think it's also only about cracking games or showing off technical skills. But in reality, I think we don't understand it was a creative community. It's a community that feels creative, a lot of musicians, graphics, and people loving creating things together. So I think people don't know about that. They maybe think just crack games or just show off, but it's a community.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. What are your favorite demo or demos of all time?
Yeah, it's difficult to compare. I talked about the Red Sector, of course, started, but of course, the first I enjoy the Mental Hangover by Scoopx. That was a short track mode. I like the boasting, I like the hard intro. But I think the best one is Hardwire, I guess. By I enjoy music of Jesper Kyd. It was So if I have to tell one based on the time, I have to talk Hardwire.
Yeah, moving on to War.
Yeah.
What was the original idea behind it, and why another diskmag?
Well, good question, because that was something I said to myself, because I didn't start War. One friend of mine said to me, well, we have to start our diskmag. It's like, no fucking way, I'm not going to start a diskmag. There are 20 diskmags out there at least, and there are new diskmags each month. So I'm not going to start another diskmag. So that was my first impression. But after some thought, I think maybe okay. But I think maybe most of the diskmags were too boring. They just collected content. We didn't have a direction. So I said, yes, we can make a diskmag, but it has to be the best. It has to be the best coders, best graphic. We have to have a clear editorial voice, something that actually had opinions, not only, and we also wanted to take a stance in thing. So we should, I said yes, but we should be best in all areas. That was my photo. So yes, there were a lot of diskmags, yes, but we wanted to make it different from the start, and that's also the name R.A.W. So it's about breaking the standards, being direct, a bit raw. So raw is like being not cooked, but raw.
So that's the story behind it. Okay.
Yeah. So being raw, being direct, being very confident. We were very boasting. From first issue we said we are the best diskmag. Fuck the rest. Just see this. This is good. So we did think different. We didn't just collect articles. We made articles. We made editorials. So we talked only about kind of famous people that people wanted to read. So 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 that's the story behind the name. It's So we had a abbreviation because RAW was really stand for revolutionary article work, but that's something we found afterwards. So that's the RAW. It stands for revolutionary article work. But
what was the response from the Demoscene when RAW first dropped the first issue?
Well, the response was very positive. We were something different. People were talking about it afterwards, arguing, and when people are talking about it, arguing about it, it has done its job. So we released the first issue in December. So even in February, already after issue 1 or 2, we were already number 1 in only 2 or 3 months. So it was very nice to be number 1 at the start. So, but it happened really fast, and also our competitor called Sign at that time also faded down. So we didn't. So it was one mag fading down, and we come up. So we were a bit lucky also.
How did you gather content? Were people submitting articles, or was it curated by a small team?
Yeah, I think that was something that maybe made us succeed. That was, we got submissions, but where other magazines, we got submissions. We have not articles. We can publish it. We said we didn't publish everything. We published very little because most of the articles we got submitted was shit. Maybe boring parties, long articles about something people don't want to read. So. I think we wrote a bit of ourselves, and we also asked particular people, can you write about that? We also talked about the people we wanted, maybe famous people or something that, can you write something about that? So we asked people to write, and we also made something ourselves, and we wrote for the reader. Some mags just collect articles and just publish it. We have an editorial, so we have wrote articles that if I like it, the reader will like it. If I don't like it, the reader don't like it. So then we scrapped it. So I think that's also a part of success that we had editorial control.
Most definitely. Did RAW ever spark controversy or rivalry within the scene?
Of course, we talked about Andromeda, but we had also, like with Tip and Mantronics, we had different cases where we published opinions and had opinions, and it challenged the scene. Also, we published about famous people. We dared to talk about Andromeda. We dared to talk about Tip and Mantronics. That was maybe the biggest musicians at the time. So we made content for readers. Maybe today, it was maybe too harsh to call it to little bit too much. We got all the coders to write about each other. So the best coders talked about other coders, the best musicians talked about other musicians, so it created discussion, it created controversy, but that was also the point of having a diskmag. So we did it, and it was intended.
What did a release cycle look like for an issue of RAW?
Well, we didn't have one. It was a lot of, it's a lot of work to make a RAW issue. And you do it, and then you have the last week, so you're not sleeping. You're just doing it, and you have a coder, and you collect it together. And afterwards, you have to X-copy it because you have to copy it on disk in the start. So you have to, and you have promised with 100 persons, so you have to copy 100 disks with X-copy, and send it out with. So afterwards you were get some time off. So in start we have 3 months, but it got longer and longer. So I think the last issues got maybe 4 or 5 or 6 months from. So and in the end it was hard to have the quality needed. So I don't know. We didn't have we released it when we were happy. So sometimes it went fast, like in the start, but later it went longer and longer.
I was going to ask if you ever rejected articles, but you already said yes.
Yeah,
but
that's important. We had a lot of articles, so maybe some are pissed off and sent me this article is good, and we didn't. I think I reacted more when I said yes to.
Yeah, were there any that really held a grudge later?
No, I don't think. I don't know about them. No, I don't think so. I don't remember anything. But maybe, I think maybe some people went to other diskmags. Because I think so. I published maybe one and not other ones, and I think they said, okay, if it's like this, I don't want to write for R.A.W. I want to write for another diskmag. But that's of course up to the person which diskmag to write for.
Yeah. Was there anyone you desperately wanted to interview but never managed to?
I can't remember anyone really. I think that we got to talk to most who were active at the time. I think we talked to everyone about coders, graphics, musicians. We also got a girl in state of the art that we got to interview, so that was a good story, and also a code of interest. But of course, there are persons that I should like to talk to that was active before me, like Walkman, famous people. But I can't remember that there was anyone I should like to interview. Maybe Walkman. I like Walkman music, and I don't know him, and I think he quit the scene before 1990.
Yeah. What was the most stressful part of putting an issue together?
Well, I told you a bit earlier, it's the last days, 3 or 4 days. I was in Oslo and Perplex in Offense, Lars, who is still active. He was a very great coder, so I lived at his apartment for some days late, and it was very stressful to test it, articles, pack it, just check it, and just the days before release was very stressful, because it's not like internet today, Olav. If you have something wrong, you can just change it. When the disk was finished and you send it out, you couldn't do anything. All the errors, all the things has to be there. So it was a bit stressful in the final days.
What do you think made diskmag such a powerful medium in the demo scene?
Well, I don't know the viewers of this YouTube, but before the internet, there was something with diskmags and parties where the community met. So we could go to parties, but that was maybe 1 or 2 years and talk, and maybe we had some letters, but that letters was 1-to-1. So the diskmags was the news sources. People read diskmags to get what's the news about Andromeda, who is joining, who is doing, there were interviews, opinions. So I think the diskmag had more like it was central in the community of forming the community, the scene community before internet. So I think that's powerful. Most people want to read about the famous people in the scene. So I think that.
Okay. Do you think R.A.W. influenced later digital publishing or online scene culture?
It's very difficult for me to judge that. I think we copied maybe others, because I think most diskmags were very bad made. We had strong editorial, we had courage to have opinions, and I think the professional mags today, they also have like strong editorial. So I don't think maybe some have been influenced, but I don't know.
Okay. What's a disaster story from making or releasing an issue, if any?
Yeah, well, a disaster is depending on how you see it. I think there was one issue, I think no really disasters, but we had one issue that didn't work on, I think we had, without memory expansions, it didn't work. So we have to make, in the second day, we have to make a new version out that worked on an Amiga 500 without a memory, I think. So we had, that was, but it went well, really. So I don't think, and sometimes we waited for intro because each Mac had an intro, and sometimes intro was delivered very late, so I had to wait. So there was some timing work, but I don't remember any some real. I never deleted all my articles or something that.
Any funny or unexpected reactions from users at the time?
Funny reactions from users. I don't remember. People talked about it, but I don't remember any some. Yeah, I don't remember people. But of course, people disagreed. But that's, as I told you earlier, that was also a point. Everybody should not agree with everything we wrote. So that was just not a funny. That was a intended reaction. So so I don't remember any very funny at time speaking.
For younger viewers that have never experienced a diskmag, how would you explain why they were such an important part of the scene?
It's very difficult to talk to young people and say, hello, young people, do you remember a world without websites or without social media? And I don't think they can imagine that. So it's very difficult to tell, but I got a diskmags filled that role. So if there was a world without web, without social media, you had diskmags. They connected people, you spread ideas, documented the scene, you had something to look forward. So it was really a happening when I got diskmags not from R.A.W, but other, it was a happening. I looked forward to reading it. So it was more like a happening that you look forward to. So, but without websites and without social media, that it was diskmags. But I guess younger people doesn't understand. So I gave up.
What made you quit when you did?
Well, you get older, life happened. Both girls got more attention. I went to military service. I went to university. And military, girls, university, I got more distant from the scene. So I got a new friends. So you move. So when you're a bit distant on the scene, I noticed that you just can't write good enough content because you have to be close to the scene. You have to attend parties. You have to talk to people. You have to meet the people. You have to be very into the scene. And if you're outside, and then it's very difficult to have the quality, and you don't have the time. So and then when I talked to Astro on an IRC, so I got another manager so R.A.W had some issues after I quit. So I got someone to take it over. So when I quit it totally, so I really quit the scene after it. So I just did other things in my life.
Don't we all? Have you ever gotten a job because of a demo scene connection? Has it ever helped you?
I don't know really if it has helped me. Maybe I think the experience that, because it was to have R.A.W was really a job, because you have to do a lot of organization, a lot of people. It was it was really project management. So I think the job I done with R.A.W has learned me something that I also do in my job. So I think it helped me in my job, but I haven't got a job because of it. I guess. I would say I'm manager of R.A.W, so that's something that gives me people I don't think most people doesn't understand what diskmag was.
No, but you must have met other ex-sceners in your work.
Of course, it's something. It can be that you have a meeting. I talked to Lone Star, who made State of Art. He lives in the States now, and he producing AI software. So and also in Oslo with Proplex. So we talk about people most people are in computer industry. So talk about people, and maybe you got to show off with this, and maybe you're gonna have a meeting and that. So so it more like I haven't got a job, but maybe we have gotten a connection to buy from each other and look into each other's software. Or
Do you think internet has changed creativity for the better or worse?
Yeah, internet. Not AI, but internet. I don't really know. Maybe both. It's very easy to share your work, so everybody can share their work more easier. But I also think it's harder to stand out. I think both. In some cases, it's easier to share, but in some cases, I think also difficult to stand out. So I think maybe both.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on AI?
Well, I say AI is of course changing the world. So I'm really positive. It's improving my productivity at work, and I think it's improving everybody. And also in coding, AI can do all the coding for you. So AI is it's an incredible tool, but also very dangerous tool because ethics, it can do so much. I think the latest release has been stopped by government because it can really crack and do everything. So it's going to be dangerous. It can. It's. I think maybe in 10 years' time we will see it, but it's really changing the world in all ways it can. It's like industrial revolution, just another way.
Yeah. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, well, I probably worry less and enjoy the journey more. Like we talked about party 2, when I should worry less about everything, just be there and enjoy life more. So I think that's good. But I think
Okay, we're near the end here. Any shout-outs or greetings you'd like to send?
Yeah, it's a lot of people you have worked with R.A.W. So I have to thank everybody who has been working with R.A.W., especially Perplex of Offense, Lars Haugseth, who has done the code, also Fairfax Andromeda, who has done a lot of graphics, and working with most talented people. That's most joy to. It's not being number one or being successful, it's by working together as a team with talented people that has given me most. So I give shout out to everybody who has worked with me, and it's been an incredible journey. So,
Okay, thank you very much for taking the time, Mr. Lord Helmet, and have a nice day.
Looking forward to coming to your party next time, Ola.
Yeah. Great, thanks. Bye.